Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
Double your money flipping land, not houses, in 14 days with my partner, Jill. Jill, welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks. I'm super excited about this show. A little bit more than most of the shows because it's a direct result or a direct request of a handful of our members. We did a show on the last podcast show that we had, I don't know, probably 3-4 months ago. Mm-hmm. And the topic was similar, but and it gets very high. That show specifically gets high rankings in iTunes. So I figured we'd scale it back a little bit, make it just a little bit more simple, and use one or two examples of deals that you've done recently to show how we very simply double our money flipping land and never actually go see the property.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
So,
sorry.
Hey, I got to tell you before we get started, I know it's Wednesday, and you do the Wednesday Hump Day special for all of our Platinum members at landstay.com, which is our real estate company. It's not like Land Academy, which isn't really a real company.
Not a real company.
Well,
the one that pays the bills. Just kidding.
I'm on a list. I'm on a list like I was a customer. I don't know if you know that. I'm like what do they call those shoppers in the mall? Secret shoppers or something?
Secret shopper on my stuff. Got it.
They look for shoplifters. What are they called? Mystery shoppers. Mystery shoppers.
Looking for shoplifters. No, it's not what they're looking like. For customer service purposes. Oh. It's a positive thing. Silly.
So what is a mystery shopper? Somebody that would tell me what a mystery shopper is. I clearly thought it was for finding shoplifters.
No. People are like mystery shoppers and they get coupons and deals because they go in. It's like if I'm a mystery shopper in my own company, I want to see how they're doing. I want to see the customer experience from, someone. If I walked in and they, like my office, I walk in, hello, it's a little bit different. The goofing off stops, right? But, but if I walked in disguise, they don't know it's me, then I can really get an evaluation of what goes on when I'm not there and how they really treat the customers. And is the customer service is the experience everything that we've trained them to do? Are they, handling themselves appropriately and all that good stuff? So,
well, I'm a mystery shopper for Landstay.
Okay.
And man, you guys knocked it out of the park this week. The email is really clear and concise, and the maps are awesome, and just the whole thing.
Dude, did you check out? I got to tell you, when I was putting the deal together, I went, okay, let's see what today's comps are. And I went,
yeah, I did.
Holy moly. I mean, the same subdivision. I did the math. Mine is priced at 31% of the next
lowest one.
Right.
That's not even like the average.
I know. I found one. It was like $3,500 an acre. I did the math in the same subdivision. Mine is $1,100 an acre. I should say that we're not. This is going to air. This podcast is probably going to air many weeks from when we're actually doing it, and we're not trying to sit here and sell property. I'm really serious. We're not trying to sell property. I'm simply just telling you that your stuff looks great, and I'm sure it'll sell by the end of the day. Thank you. Yay. I have something good to share too if you want to hear before I start.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We never talk about the topic that we're talking about.
This is true. No, I have something so good to share. This just came into my email right before you called me, and I'm looking at this going, what the heck? I've made friends in a certain subdivision's HOA location. You know who I'm talking about.
There's like 3, so it's one of 3, and that's fine.
Right. Well, one of them, we're not going to say whom.
Good.
sent me a list, and I just sent me this email. Jill, I don't want to be pushy or presumptuous, but I was wondering if you would be interested in looking at some property that the church I belong to is wanting to sell. These properties were donated and they aren't interested in keeping. I've attached a list. Thanks for the consideration.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
So any mention of price, you know all the questions I'm going to ask.
No, I haven't even got that far. I'm like, right as we're sitting here, I'm opening it up and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 2, 4, I don't know, 25, 30 properties.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic. And this woman, because she knows her stuff, she put down the subdivision, the unit. There's 2 different subdivisions. She put down the unit block, the acreage. She gave me, the assessed value, the taxes, where they stand. And I mean, she's like on it. I'm like, I sent her a nice thank you. I said, absolutely. Thank you for thinking of me. I'll look it over this weekend and get back to you. So talk about cool. So yeah.
That reminds me, we've said this probably 500 times in all of the venues that we talk about buying and selling land. It's like every once in a while, something just falls out of the sky right into your lap, and it's, you make 20 or 30,000 bucks on it. Mm-hmm. And I put not houses. The topic of today is doubling your money, flipping land, not houses. I put not houses in there this time because
I like that.
If you're flipping houses, does a house fall out of the sky? Does a house deal fall out of the sky into your lap, and where you really have to write? I don't know. You're probably going to end up. I'm just thinking out loud here. You're going to write maybe a $2,000 check at best for all these properties, right?
Right.
Probably less.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how you do this, Jill. You sweet talk everybody, and then you say, "Oh, I only can pay 10 cents."
Hey, hold on, everyone. When I say everyone, I mean you. So, no, it's not that if you don't want it and you're going to give it away, I'm happy to give you something for it. I'm not here to nickel and dime people and beat them up. I mean, I do give a good price. I really do. You know what? And we negotiate. There's plenty of times that I'll negotiate and go, and I really have had some. I offered 800, and she said, "Well, if you did 800, would you do 1,000?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do 1,000. It's gonna make the deal happen, and you're happy. Sure. I wish I'd paint a picture that I'm like this horrible.
I bring this up because I secretly admire it. I'm a historically an acquisitions person all the way through my whole career. I've been an acquisitions person, and it's like I'm addicted to it, and so I have to get a deal done. So I will actually probably out negotiate myself. I'll negotiate a situation that is not the best situation for me, just to actually get a deal done. And I don't think that you're like that. I think you're like, I'll just whatever, man. I'll do the deal if you want, but this is what we're interested. We're only interested at X, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's true. This has changed for me dramatically from when I started doing this stuff. I am really only numbers, mm-hmm. I'm all about the numbers, and if the numbers don't line up and make sense to me, I don't care how pretty it is and how nice you are, or how great the circumstances are. I got to walk, and it's nothing personal. I have so many other things I need that are great deals. I'm just going to kind of move on.
All right. You know what? It's funny because when we do shows like this and we get off topic, because we're pretty off topic right now.
Yeah.
I have a special colored sticky note on my desk because now I know what the next podcast topic is going to be tomorrow.
Oh.
Between you and I.
What is it?
The differences between flipping land and flipping houses.
Oh. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. I think there's a lot.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. Do you know what I think is so funny? And we'll talk about this on that podcast, which is people think that what I do is, for some reason, it overwhelms people. They think it's harder, and I don't know why. You know what I mean?
I don't understand that either.
Thank you. Based on we did a podcast the other day with a gentleman who is one of our members now. And do you remember he went into detail about, he did that and said, holy cow, all the variables and all the things that could go wrong, And he said he just didn't understand that you can make money off unimproved land.
Yeah.
That was his thing for him, remember? Because he said he had some property that was it in Tennessee that he inherited, I think?
Yeah, exactly. West Tennessee.
Yeah, and they were like renting it out, making a little money. It was like farming or something. Maybe there was cattle on it.
It was land lease, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, that was the first time he realized, oh, I don't have to do anything to it and I can make money. And we're like, bingo, that's true. And I think there's still a lot of people out there that don't get it. You don't have to do anything with it. You can make money.
My experience in teaching people how to flip land for money is that there's a little switch in their head, and everybody's switch is different. The thing that kind of pushes somebody over the edge to make the decision to do this, everybody's got a different topic. Mm-hmm. For him, it was seeing how much money this. And he said it wasn't a ton of money, but it was like, man, there is no work at all. You know, he gets a check and that's it. I mean, how bad can you screw up land?
Right.
I kind of knock on wood when I say that, but you know, I guess we are kind of doing the next podcast. But yeah, for everybody's got a switch. So for a lot of people, it takes doing one or two houses to say, man, this is way harder than I thought it would be. I would love to buy a piece of land in another state. I don't know anything about it. I hired somebody, paid him $50 to go take a picture, and I sold it for twice as much money. Now, this is what our podcast is really about now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So,
well, you know, and I sat when you and I did the few flipping residential deals that we did, and when I really sat, and as fun as it was for me, I really got a kick out of it. But when I enjoyed the process, but when I sat and added up my hours and divided up, you know, what I really made, you know, and what I could have done at my regular job, it was astronomical.
Sure.
I mean, how much was lost?
You mean your regular job buying and selling land?
Exactly.
Yeah. There's no comparison.
Yeah.
Plus, every deal for us is I have to stop talking about this because we're taking the wind out of the sails for the next podcast. Mm-hmm. Every transaction's similar. Mm-hmm. You know, every land. I mean, flipping a house, you don't know what you're going to get into until you really get in there and find out what's going on. And you have to see it and touch it and smell it and all that stuff. I guess it makes for those good TV shows, like when they open the door, they bought it from a bank and they didn't see the inside yet. Did you ever see those shows?
Yes. Like that couple in Orange County. Right, because they are like looking in the windows and hopping over the fence. Yeah. And then they go and stand in front of the courthouse and with cash and their kid.
Yeah, that exactly. That's the same show. And they you know, they get a
Tarek, I think is his name. Yeah,
they get a wrecking bar and they buy the house to go in there, and there could be a dead body. There could be, I don't know.
Usually she walks in and then she walks right out because it smells so bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've seen. So we don't have any of that.
I don't know. When's the last time you saw a piece of property that we bought and sold? I mean, serious. Really think back.
Well, we started to drive southern Arizona one time by an auction, but we really didn't. You know what? Here's what usually happens. This is funny. Usually, you and I might be driving back from, I don't know, California or something, and we've commented on, "Hey, we own a bunch of property there." That's usually how it goes, right?
Yep.
Or we used to own a bunch of. Oh, cool! That's great. Yeah, right. I remember that. Yeah, all right. So that's where that is.
Maybe we still do. I don't know.
Maybe we do. Totally.
It reminds me of a funny line from the movie Caddyshack where they're sitting on the golf course and that guy says, "So what do you do for a living?" And he says, "I own a bunch of lumberyards, but I'm not sure where they are."
Oh, that's us.
So we own a bunch of real estate. I'm just not sure exactly where it is.
You know, it's so funny. That happens all the time. I to both of us. I know when we're out, even with people that know us kind of well, they're kind of asking us about how much, you know, I think if you own X amount of acres and you have like a big piece, most people must know off the top of their heads, oh, I have a 86-acre ranch and da-da-da. Right. You ask you and I'm like, oh, heck, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know it's a lot.
That being said, there's about 5, maybe 8 pieces of property I've owned for years, and I know exactly where they are and how gorgeous they are. And, you know, I dream about retiring there one day. So there's always a special few, a couple of them that you really like.
You know what? The ones that I had, they went from like Big Bear. They went from emotional to numbers to get rid of it. They're gone.
Yeah. I was going to say that, another name for the podcast could be, if you are interested in having a love affair with your investment, don't participate in our program. If you're interested in doubling your money and not really caring that much about how it happens, this is for you.
Exactly. I love it. Well, and back to the topic of this, I was just thinking about doubling your money, flipping land, not houses. Do you know? I mean, what's the percentage of the time? I don't want to say never, but how many people do you think can consistently double their money on a house flip?
Oh my gosh.
Probably nobody consistently. But if you're really, really, really lucky, back in you and I know of someone here in town who was buying houses really cheap, like under $50,000. Then you could now if you hung on to it, right? But on a consistent basis in that world, you can't. I mean, look at all those TV shows. They're lucky if they make, 20, 30, 40,000 bucks.
Oh, I think 20. I think 20 is the target.
Mm-hmm. They're jumping up and down. I'm like, you just made $20,000. Took you 45, if you're lucky, 45 days.
60. Yeah.
Right. So.
And what happened? How many sleepless nights in between?
Right. And you're lifting a hammer, by the way, and you and your whole family's doing the cleaning and staging. So.
I'm not bashing it. I mean, a lot of people are really good at it. The scariest time in those deals for me is when the thing's all done. It's all spit shined and looks gorgeous, and the real estate agent lists it, and then there's the price is whatever, way more than they thought. Everybody thought it was because the price got driven up so high because it cost so much more to clean it up than they thought that it would, and then everybody's biting their nails because they don't know if it's going to appraise and all of that stuff. So even if you do really find a willing buyer, will the bank say that it's okay to lend on it because it's so high priced for the market? That's when I really start to. It's not so much the cleaning the thing up; it's the economics of the deal.
You know what? You're right. You could have the best, awesome flip, and then you find someone that, okay, I'll pay it. I'm so darn excited, and then it doesn't appraise. That's a whole nother thing I don't even want to think about.
Remember that deal we did where we had to sell it for cash because it wouldn't appraise?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
And this woman from Canada. This is when this ended my house flipping career, this transaction. Exactly what I described happened. We listed the house we bought it for $130. We cleaned it up for I don't remember.
60?
No.
40? I don't know.
We were into it for $210 at the end. And,
were we really?
And we were in a $180,000 neighborhood. We're in it for $210. This is right when things started to uptick a little bit. And somebody wrote an offer for $220 with the bank financing, and by the time the real estate agent got their fees and all that stuff, we're losing a little bit of money. We didn't include our time and all this stuff. And then
exactly.
We decided I can't do the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so fortunately, 2 weeks later, some woman from Canada just said, I'm going to retire here, and paid cash, wrote a check. Mm-hmm. And she bought I'll remember this forever. She bought that house because of that double oven you put in there. This is so off topic for this podcast. I can't believe it. I want to apologize.
That was awesome. Thank you that was fun for me. It was a hobby for me. You know what? That's all that was for me. It was kind of a hobby. And we made some money, and I realized this is an expensive hobby.
Then I calculated how much money we lost buying and selling land because this whole thing took 60 days, full time.
Right.
Full time. You're 7 days a week, 8 hours a day, full time.
I was living there sometimes. So you have to oversee these people. You
right.
can't just walk away and come back in a week and expect it to be done. Oh no.
We probably lost $200,000-$300,000 just in land deals.
I know, but that's okay.
It's fine.
So back to the topic.
Right. So let's pretend like we're starting the podcast right now. Double your money flipping land, not houses, in 14 days with Jill.
Easy.
But maybe the producers are going to cut all that stuff out that we just said, and they're going to start the whole show right here.
They might. You know what? This is like Name That Tune. I can do it in less than 14 days if I really try. Do you think I'm kidding?
No, you can do it in 2 days.
I can do it in 2 days. I can try do it in 1.
Brings me back to my age-old point that no one believes we do this. That's why we're doing the podcast, because they don't believe us.
I know.
All right, so what are the steps? Please don't leave any detail out here, but what are the basic steps? And I'll ask you questions along the way if it's all right. The basic steps to do this for what we do for a living all the time. How to double your money flipping land.
Do you want me to list the steps in order and then we'll go back and talk about them?
Sure. Whatever you think would be most helpful for some poor soul who's listening to the show because they have really low standards about what they listen to.
Oh, you're awful. Hey, what do you mean low standards? I'm here. Thanks a lot. What does that say?
And what does that say?
Thank you. No. Okay, so here's the steps. I'm going to give you just kind of the basic steps, and then we'll go back and kind of follow up a little bit more. Okay. Step 1. Have a well-planned, effective mailer and get that out. So execute a well-planned and effective mailer.
Direct mail campaign.
Direct mail campaign. Thank you. Number 2. Handle, take, receive, get the inbound calls and your offers back. It might be in the mail, it might be email, it might be a phone call. So you put that out to all the potential sellers. You receive all the inbound information. 3, do your homework. See if you want it, buy it. And if you're new, or just, you don't have to be new. I mean, definitely buy the best ones. If you're seasoned, and like me, I buy a lot of them. I buy most of them, almost all of them. If it's just the right price, is pretty much what it is. Number 4, this is just an easy way to double your money. Find people who find buyers for your thing. So for me, I have a fallback of my top buyers over the years. So I hit them up right away. Sometimes when I buy them, I know right away who's going to buy it for me, and that's why I can do it in a day. So, but for somebody new to the business, hey, go on Land Watch, go on Land and Farm, do a little homework, see who's got some properties in the same area, and contact them.
Yep.
Because if the price is right, this is step 5, reach out to them directly, they will buy it quickly.
Excellent. So I'm going to recap.
Okay.
Step 1, execute a well-planned out and effective direct mail campaign. Man, if we haven't said that 5,000 times, this is the 5,001 time. Got to get into the direct mail business. We show you exactly how to do it. Our members have incredible success. We just had one 2 or 3 days ago on the show. Her name's Claire, and she had a tremendous amount of success executing a mailer campaign in California. Step 1, execute the plan and get the mail out there with offers in the thing. Don't send silly little postcards or notes to people that, we show you how to do it. Number 2, receive the inbound calls, and you're going to get flooded with them if you do it right, and the offers. Number 3, choose the best one. And number 4, this is super important, and I think it's the real value in this podcast. Remember this. Sell property like you just sell the property to people who have like-kind property in the area. I heard the statistics a while ago, since we're talking about houses a little bit, that 60% of homes, used homes, this doesn't apply to new subdivisions, 60% of homes are sold to the relatives and friends of the people in the existing neighborhood.
Oh, totally believe that. Yes, that's true.
So house comes up for sale. The sign goes up in the front yard, and Sally across the street calls her sister and says, "I know you're looking for a house. The Jonesers are moving."
What about my dad and my brother? My parents and my brother lived really close. Well, that's a whole other story. But yeah, that's true.
I never knew that. like a everybody
brother lived down the street, down the block, across the street from my parents for a while.
Everybody Loves Raymond thing.
Totally like that. Mom would take him a sandwich. Oh, it was hilarious. That's a whole other thing.
Your grown brother got sandwiches from your mom.
Yes. He was building a new company. He needed that.
Oh my God.
It's totally true. Okay, anyway. Side topic, sorry.
It's the same thing with land. People who own property in the area, it's not hard to find out who owns a bunch of properties in the area where you are. So landwatch.com and landandfarm.com, we have no affiliation and no relation to them directly in any way, except that we sell a ton of property on those sites. And go there and find out. You can search by geographies, find out who's got it listed. And if you buy it right in step one, you're priced way the hell below. Any of the stuff that's priced out there, they're going to snatch that up. They already have their marketing machine, and they already know people who are going to buy the stuff in the area and the whole thing. So I know you've done this several times, Jill. Can you give us maybe two examples of how
it's like me. Well, number one, it's like me. It's like, imagine so here's what's going to happen. Say you're reaching out to me and you're saying, hey, Jill, I know you got these, 5, 10, 20, whatever acre parcels for sale. You want another one? Here's what it's priced at. I'm going to heck yeah, I'm going to snatch it up. I'm going to roll it in my inventory. I've already got a lot of the maps and photos and everything of the area ready to go. Piece of cake. It's a no-brainer.
You know what? I didn't realize it, but the church example that you gave at the beginning of the podcast, hey, producers, you can't cut that out now. They're reaching out to you because you own property in the area.
Bingo.
That's great full circle example. We should end the podcast right now. That's full circle example, and that's perfect.
That's really funny. You're right. She and I have a well-established relationship of me over the years buying a lot of property in that subdivision that she manages. So, hey, she's reaching out to me.
You know what I did in the past one time? I only did it once, and it worked great. And I bought, and I did it because the numbers worked. Sometimes the numbers don't work. I bought a bunch of 40-acre properties in one area in northern Arizona. There are like 10 or 20 of them, really inexpensively from one person. And so what I did was I got the data from RealQuest, like we always do, of all the other people that own, large acreage properties in that county, in that area.
Right.
And I sent them a letter and said, I've got all these 40-acre properties. I know from county records that you own a bunch of property in the area. You might want to buy these too. Mm-hmm. And it sold immediately.
There you go.
So,
I love it.
Like-kind property owners love to buy more property.
Oh, totally.
Especially if their taxes are all up to date and they're showing signs that they, if not anything else, they'll call you and say, you know what? I don't even want the stuff that I own up there now anyway, so maybe you can buy that too.
I'm open to that too.
Yeah. starts talking.
Doesn't it? You could say, all right, well, I'm only paying X for this, so I'm going to pay that for yours. Hey, that's okay too. I like that. So I did have one example that I thought about. This was several months ago. Not that long ago. It was do you remember this one? It was a Tehachapi 20-acre property.
Yeah.
We did the video, Rob.
Yeah, I did a video on that. I do remember that. That was a while ago, I think. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe I get them all mixed up.
Hey, do those videos still stay there?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't done that in a while because I'm,
What we're talking about is when we get a really attractive property in, like an acreage property. We had the example Jill's talking about is a 20-acre property in Tehachapi, California, and it's gorgeous. It is on the top of a mountain, and you take this little road up there like right out of a movie, and so you can in Google Earth you can screen capture traveling along the road up to the property, and once you get there and kind of just like you would be standing on it, take a look out over everything, and so I put a video together. It's still on. If you just look up Land Academy on YouTube, you'll find it. Mm-hmm. And it's a great way to sell property. I mean, it sells the heck out of property, quite honestly. We don't. I know what you're going to say. We don't do it enough. We should. Mm-hmm. That's what we teach. You got to do the same thing every single time, and then we don't do it.
Well, because that sounded terrible. So my sound effects. Well, it's just because I've been so many of my properties are placed right now, and I'm not doing a lot of selling to the end user. It's purely for the end user kind of thing, but even for other wholesalers.
Yeah.
It's such a good tip, everyone. Ding, ding. Make a video, 5 minutes. You can advertise your company, advertise whatever you want, advertise your website. And you don't even have to be on camera. You can just do a screen capture and you talk and showing them the property, and you could pull up comps and like, hey, have it already open on your computer. I love that. And you do that. Let's take a look right here on Zillow. I'm going to show you right now. This is priced here. This is priced there. I mean, it's such a good, people fall over for that.
Yeah.
It is really good. And you are correct. So I love it. And that's, what's interesting is I don't think that's how we found that buyer, because that buyer is another, land person, investor. So
that's exactly actually how, I don't mean to correct you, Joe, but that's really is how we found.
Oh, we did find him there? Okay.
Yeah, because I went on to Land Watch, and I know that because he is a wholesaler like us, he had a bunch of property right in that area, and I said, hey, here's another one, and he snagged it. I mean, not without negotiation,
right?
But and I
did we buy it for like $2,000?
We bought that for $2,000. I looked it up before. Yes, we did. We bought it for $2,000 and sold it for $18,000 to him.
Yeah,
and he's in the business of what we teach. He bought it from us, and he's going to sell it for probably $30,000-$40,000, probably more than that, on terms. A couple $1,000 down, $200 or $300 a month.
Well, there's homes all around it.
Yeah, ranches and stuff.
There you go.
Really nice.
There you go. Hey, here's a funny side note.
Did you fell asleep for a second, didn't you?
No. What's funny is I'm wondering if our listeners picked up on the fact that my memory stinks. Because this came up today.
Can be mentally slow and succeed in real estate. That's enough.
You too can barely remember your own name and make money. No.
Make important math skills.
Oh my gosh. No, that came up today. I don't remember what the joke was, but somebody was making fun of me today in the gym this morning, and it was something that I made a comment about how much you appreciate that I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It can be a good thing. And don't think I don't know that you don't use it against me sometimes. Sure, I told you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. So, yeah, my memory stinks. But, hey, I still do okay. Thank goodness for spreadsheets and notes. So, too funny. Okay, sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
If we did the same Apache deal early in my career, I would have purchased it for $2,000 and sold it for $4,000, really just immediately. And that's what we teach at Land Academy, is just to keep doubling your money and keep moving forward. So now you've got $4,000 to work with, and the next two you're going to double it. So you're going to turn the 4 into 8, the 8 into 16, the 16 into 32,000, and you can do it pretty quickly and pick up some A-list wholesale land people really fast. The way the internet is these days.
You're right. You will, because you're not being greedy at that point. It's still way undervalued, and the buyers are going to love you, and they're going to want to be on your A list. You're 100% right.
I don't know what other business you can get into where your customer makes more money on what you're selling them than you do. So, all they do is come back. Once it's sold, they want to come back for more and more and more and more.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like it's like almost, I have a few that are like putting in an order.
Yeah.
Hey, can you give me some more of those? Well, I'm like, let me see what I can do.
We used to do that. We used to get, and I didn't do it. We stopped doing it because it was too hard to execute. But people would call us and say, I can't keep any properties that have XYZ attributes in inventory. Can you please go find a bunch of those properties and I'll pay you a lot of money for them? So then we would design a specific mailer and send it all out and manage it that way. And what we found out is by the time it all came back, 30 days later, and we were actually buying properties, the guy, talk about memory loss. The guy's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
It was just that.
You put it in order, and now I have 10.
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah, exactly.
So we just did it for ourselves instead.
That's okay. Better. Doesn't matter. I'm going to sell it.
That being said,
Yes.
We never lost any money on any of them. Knock on wood.
Yay. All right, cool. So we just said which is true. You know what? If I can't double my money tomorrow, I'm not buying it. So we could end on that.
Yeah, we can. But I know you don't just double it. I know it's triple and quadruple. So, but again, we can't say that because nobody believes us.
I know. It is.
So let's just say double.
Okay, cool. Double. Love it. Yay.
Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
I know you won't remember this tomorrow. Join us next time when we speak with Justin Christensen of Conversion Fanatics. He's going to speak with us about doubling our sales conversion rates. Speaking of doubling, he's going to speak with us about doubling our conversion sales rates specifically for property sales on your website. Thanks.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.